Next question. You emphasize the importance of sales and sales calls. As a beginner in SEO, would it be wise to start making sales calls and inside? Oh my God, that is the best. I love that you asked this question. If we were giving away a prize for the best question of the year, this would be one of them. That would be in the running for the prize of the best question of the year. Let me restate that or repeat that, guys. You emphasize the importance of sales and sales calls. As a beginner in SEO, would it be wise to start making sales calls and then outsource the work if a deal is closed? 100%. Bingo. I've been trying to get people to understand that recently. I think the industry is flawed and that people come into this industry and think, if I learn how to rank stuff in local SEO, I'm set. I'll be financially free. All my financial woes will disappear. Okay, good luck with that. There's a lot of talented people out there that are good at technical or good at SEO, can rank stuff, but they suck at sales, or so they're broke. They're hungry SEOs, right? In local, guys, you have to get good at being able to sell the service. Full stop. If you don't get good at selling the service, you're going to struggle. No matter how good you are at local SEO, you're going to struggle if you don't know how to sell the service. And so I've said this many times over the last few years, guys. I think the industry is backwards. I think if you want to get good at if you want to make money from local SEO, learn how to sell it first, because you can find a lot of SEOs out there that can rank stuff that don't have the desire or that don't have the desire, the skills or the desire to learn selling. I was one of them, guys, 100%. I've been transparent about this before. I hated sales, absolutely hated sales. I would get sick to my stomach if I thought I had to get on a sales call. That is not a joke, guys. I hated it. Some of you could probably relate to that. I would get literally sick because I knew I had to get on a sales call. So I would try to avoid, for many years of running an agency, and I made money. I was successful, but not nearly as successful as I could have been if I had just gotten over that fear a lot sooner. And so I had an onboarding call with a new mastermind member earlier today, and I was honest about something that I hadn't really revealed before to any others other than the small mini mastermind group that I was part of. As part of our mastermind, we have breakout like mini mastermind groups, and I had a sales accountability meeting with a very small group. My support manager Chris G was part of it. Brian Cato was part of it. Dietrich, who's down in Florida, was part of it. And every single Thursday for almost 2 years, we met and we would talk for an hour, and we would talk about, it was Zoom meeting, very small group, and we would talk about sales. We would read sales books, listen to sales training programs, etc. And then we would apply that. Our homework for the week was to apply what we learned from the previous week's study, and then and try to actually apply those strategies that we studied the previous week. And then the following week, we would, at the beginning of the call, we would talk about, okay, what were the results of us applying the sales tactics that we learned in the previous week? And then we would talk about, how it affected us, how we thought, we would just kind of bounce ideas and stuff off each other. And then we would basically talk about the assignment for the next week. And we did that for almost 2 years. And that changed absolutely everything for me, guys. I've said that a number of times. The last 2 major presentations that I've done at live events have been specifically about how to sell local SEO services, because I feel like the industry is so backwards, and that it tells everybody comes in and thinks, all I got to do is learn how to rank stuff. Good luck. There are a lot of people that know how to rank stuff and are broke. But if you know how to sell it, you can find, there are a dime a dozen people that can rank stuff, but they're few and far between those that can do good at selling, those that are proficient at selling. And part of that also, by the way, the reason why there's a lot of SEOs that aren't good at selling is because they're not booking enough sales calls. It's just like anything else, guys. How do you get better at anything? You do more of it, period. So if you're not good at sales, do more sales calls. And that's how you get better at sales. You can read books, you can watch YouTube videos, you can study sales programs, but until you're actually in a selling environment, trying to sell, you're not going to get better. And you can accelerate your skill development if you study and then apply in a real world setting what you've learned. That's how you accelerate. So I'm not telling people not to read books and watch sales videos and read and listen to sales training programs. I'm not telling people not to do that, but I'm telling people that do that and then don't book more sales calls, that's not helping. What I'm saying is, guys, and that goes back to the DHA program and having the phase 1 part of this is building a prospecting and marketing machine to generate consistent leads for your agency so that you have no choice but to book more sales calls. You will get better at selling so much faster that way. Go look, Richard Fenton, Go for No, the book by Richard Fenton, Go for No. It's very short read. You can probably buy it on Kindle for $1, and it'll take you an hour to read it. Read it. He talks about how if you're trying to learn sales, there's a gnat flying around. It's bugging me. I'm not going crazy, I swear. He talks about in that book, like, especially when you're starting out in sales, look, understand you're going to fuck up a lot of sales calls. You're going to lose sales because you're going to be terrible at it initially. So be it. Who cares? Each time you get a no, you're going to be that much closer to your next yes. And it doesn't matter because that's why I tell my program members, look, don't go into sales calls, especially initially when you're just starting to develop your skill at selling. Don't go into sales calls with the expectation of selling anything. Go into it as it's a conversation. All I'm doing is having a conversation with the business owner in the industry that I've chosen. And it's a discovery call. You want to ask questions about their business, find out what keeps them up at night, what they like about their business, what they don't like about their business. Find out these things, because then you will start to develop the proper messaging for what is compelling to that type of a business owner, which again goes back to trying to do this across multiple industries is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know how anybody does it. And I'm not anybody that's successful at it. Great. Good on you. You're a better man or woman than I am, because I have no idea how people do this across multiple industries. I think you should understand one particular industry deeply so that you know what their objections are, what their pain points are, what is compelling to them, what causes them to take action. Right? You get to know what causes the consumers of their products or services to take action so that you can be effective at marketing their business to their audience, right? But you have to market your services to the business owners in whatever industry you're targeting. So you have to know vocabulary on two levels, the business owner vocabulary and the consumer vocabulary for the products and services that are interested in the products or services of that industry. And you have to know what creatives convert, which copy converts, how to sell to them, and how to generate leads that are compelling for the consumer to then want to book a sales call with the company or an estimate or whatever it is, an appointment, whatever. So you have to understand an industry at a very deep level to be effective as a marketer, not just as an SEO, guys. You understand SEO is a technical skill, and most SEOs call themselves internet marketers, but they don't understand marketing at all. And I didn't either, by the way, for many, many years. I thought I did, but I didn't. And it wasn't until I started studying direct response marketing, which is to generate the leads, and sales, which is how to sell the service, right? Produce the sale, generate the revenue. And I'm not, guys, I'm not above and beyond any of this. I've been through it all myself. I went through a progression where I had to overcome my own fear of selling. And the only way to do it is to do more of it. And I mean that. And so it took me a year and a half to overcome and to become proficient at sales. And now I don't hesitate for a second. You know what I mean? It's fine. I've got no problem getting on a sales call because I'm confident in my products and services, number one. Number two, again, I don't have to hard sell anybody on anything now because I just demonstrate that I can produce results or whatever. And then it's just like, hey, does it make sense for us to work together? That's it. Like, it's just so much easier when you do that. And by the way, if you niche down into a particular industry, then you'll have the experience to be able and the resources to be able to point to prove that you know what you're doing. So to get back to the original question was, as a beginner in SEO, would it make more sense to learn the sales side of things and find outsource fulfillment providers or a partner that you can partner with that is good at executing SEO tasks, but maybe has no interest in selling? Either partner with somebody that can do SEO or find a white label fulfillment provider that you trust and is reliable, that can produce consistent deliverables for you and your clients that produce results, right? And if you can do that, then absolutely, if anybody wants to make money in local SEO, start with learning how to sell it first. And the way you start to learn how to sell it first is to book more sales calls. But you got to generate the leads first, which is why you have to learn marketing to generate the leads. You have to learn sales to generate the revenue. You understand? And so learning SEO is the last thing that you should do if you want to make money in this business. In my opinion, guys, this is my opinion. I know others may differ. That's fine. I'm giving you my opinion because you asked. Okay. If I were to start over in this business, I would start with learning sales, 100%. And I would, and again, once I finally got over my fear of selling and developed the skill, which it took time, there's no question. But once I came, that changed absolutely everything for me, guys. And that's why I try to encourage others to do the same. Focus in on marketing, generate the leads for your agency so that you can cherry pick the clients you want to work with instead of bending over backwards to land any client, even when you know in your gut, you have that gut feeling that this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a pain in the ass client, but goddamn, I need the revenue. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to land this client, promise the world. And then I'm going to be under stress for the next 6 months and know that I'm in danger of losing that client at any moment because they're, first of all, they're a pain in the ass. Second of all, I bit off more than I can chew. How many of you can relate to that? I did it. I did it many, many times over my career. But once you have a consistent source of leads coming in your agency, you can cherry pick the ones that you have the best rapport with, right? The ones that are the easiest locations or areas, the least competitive areas, so that you'll look like a damn rock star, which is why I teach in the DHA program to do competition research so that you only are targeting areas to prospect that have low competition so that you can get results quickly with little effort so that you look like a rock star and it makes your job easier. And if you do that consistently, guys, if you learn marketing first, pick an industry, learn marketing so that you can generate leads from that industry, then start booking sales calls from the leads generated, then you will, and don't go into initial sales calls thinking you have to sell something because your prospect will smell desperation through the Zoom meeting or through the phone or whatever. In my industry, the tree service industry, is about 90% phone calls, not Zoom meetings. And so if you go into sales calls initially with just like, hey, look, this is just a discovery call. I just want to find out about your business. And that way I can develop things that are going to help solve problems that you have. If you go into it with that kind of an attitude, that kind of an expectation, then you can build rapport very quickly with your prospect because they don't sense that you're trying to sell them anything. They sense that you're literally trying to find out what are their problems so that you can develop solutions. And eventually you will figure it out through enough conversations. You'll be able to answer objections before they're even brought up, right? You'll be able to presuppose certain things because you'll find commonalities from having conversations with multiple business owners in the same industry. You'll find that they all experience very similar problems. So you can develop offers and services, right? So solutions to their problems. And so then you can eventually get to a point which is called the Challenger Sale method. Go look it up. It's a book called The Challenger Sale. It's fantastic. It's an evolution of the spin selling method, which is by Neil Rackham, which is what I learned. I learned how to sell from the spin selling system or spin selling method. And the Challenger Sale is the evolution of that, which is once you understand a particular industry very well, you can skip all the discovery stuff because you already know, because you have a deep understanding of that industry, what they need. And so you can presuppose things to where now you can specifically address things that you already know that they know is a challenge in their business. And then the goal is to help them to see their business from a new perspective, to gain new insight about their business that they were unaware of. An example of this, and I just had this same conversation with the new mastermind member earlier today, was if I asked 10 tree guys what they need in their business, more than anything, they're going to tell me leads, most of them. The majority of them are going to say, I need more leads. And so I always ask them, and the next question is, okay, well, yeah, I expected that you were going to say that. I kind of assumed you were going to say that because I oftentimes hear that. So let me ask you something. Walk me through the process of what happens when a lead comes into your business. How is it generated? Does it come through a phone call? Does it come through a web form on your website? When the lead comes in, what happens? Do you answer the phone or does it go to voicemail? Do you have somebody answering the phone for you? If it goes to voicemail, how long is it on average before you call them back? And I ask them these questions. You shut up and listen. Let them talk and answer those questions in great detail. And as they are explaining how inefficient their process is in managing that lead, they come to realize that maybe it's not leads that they need. Maybe they need a better lead management system and process. And so that doesn't even have anything to do with SEO. Do you understand? And so when having a conversation like that, again, like I already know that tree guys are going to tell me they need more leads, but I already know that a lot of them just have terrible follow-up systems. So it's like having a bucket that has a big hole in the bottom. As leads come into the top, they're falling out of the bottom because they're not being followed up with, or they're going to voicemail and the people don't leave voicemail messages, etc. So I tell them at the end of, once they've kind of explained to me what their process is for managing and following up with leads, which is usually almost non-existent, I say, okay, so based upon what you just told me, do you think you really need more leads? Or do you think you need a better system for managing those leads so that you can convert more of those leads into closed sales, booked jobs? And they say, well, you know what, you're right. Well, okay, so here's an idea. Why don't we set you up with a better system for managing leads, capturing a lead, automated follow-up systems, etc., so that you close more of the existing leads that you're currently receiving. You generate more revenue from the leads that you're currently already getting. And then once you have that system in place, now you're in a better position to accept or receive more leads. But we can help you with that too. And do you understand? So again, it goes back to like, if you this fucking flies buzzing around my head. It goes back to, again, what is it you want to accomplish with your SEO business? Do you want to be a technical SEO and just be a master at ranking stuff, or do you want to make money? Maybe you want both, and that's fine too. But if you want to make money, what I recommend you learn first is the sales side of things, so that you can generate. By the way, sales is where you generate the revenue, not the fulfillment. Of course, you have to fulfill if you have any integrity whatsoever. If you're going to sell something, you're going to make sure that you can deliver upon that, whatever that promise was that you made for the sale. So you need to have a good product or service that is reliable, that can produce whatever result it is that you're selling. If you're selling a result, maybe you shouldn't sell a result. Maybe you should sell a deliverable instead, right? Like a website or, whatever. All I'm saying is there are different ways to approach this. And if you want to get good at SEO, great. I respect that. I like SEO too. I've enjoyed it. I still like testing and tinkering and figuring out how to manipulate Google. I love it. I do. Very passionate about it. But I also like making money. And so if you want to make money in this business, guys, learn how to sell first, right? And that's my opinion. Again, if others have differing opinions, hey, more power to you. Anyways,